So now you're armed with the acronym DO SPEAK. D stands for dress the part. O stands for organize your paper. S stands for steal your mother's index card. P stands for practice that introduction sentence. E, do not forget eye contact. A, attack fillers. And K, keep body control. Now, what are you going to do today for the rest of your time? Well, what we're going to have you work on today is a free write. I want you to sit down, grab a piece of paper, and don't worry about spelling, don't worry about punctuation. All I want you to do is think about yourself. What are your personal passions, your interests? What are your hobbies? What are the things that are really important to you? What are things that are interesting to you? What are things that make you really unique? It could be your hair color. It could be a talent or a skill that you have. And I want you to take some time to write out everything about yourself that you can think of. Now, if there's extra time, we'll do this for about 5-10 minutes probably. If there's extra time, what I'm going to have you do is write your name on top of your paper. And then you guys are going to pass your papers to the person to the left of you. And you'll take 1 minute on someone else's paper writing something that you've noticed about them. Then you'll pass the paper again, take a minute, and write on that person's paper things that you know about them. So that by the time the papers go all the way around the room and come back to their rightful owner, they may have some new ideas or things that they didn't even think of. Then what you're going to be doing over the next 2 weeks before our next Guild session is coming up with a rough draft of a speech to introduce yourself to the world. Who are you? The name of the speech will be Introducing Me. And you're going to tell us just exactly who you are this far in life. I am very excited about your speeches. I'm really excited about teaching you guys this year, and I'm looking forward to a great time. You can email me or call me anytime with questions. So, get ready, because I hope you do speak. So, D, dress the part. O, organize your speech as a paper. Select one cue word or phrase from each paragraph of that paper. Then S, steal your mom's recipe cards and write the cue word or phrase on each recipe card so that you have several recipe cards that you can quickly thumb through as you're giving your speech. Chances are you won't even need those recipe cards, because by the time you've worked with your material that much, you're going to really have it in your head. Now, next we have P, and P stands for practice your introduction sentence. This is really important. Usually, if you can just have that introduction sentence nailed in your head, where you know exactly the first sentence you're going to say, then the rest will begin to flow after it. Panic is usually just the first few minutes of standing in front of someone, actually the first few seconds. So, when you get up there, the first thing that you can do is, if you'll look at your list, smile. Then give your first sentence. Hello, adventure writers. That was my first sentence of my speech to you guys this week. When you smile, give your first sentence, then take a deep breath. Maybe even count to 3 if you need to. If it'll make you feel better, you can plan to have a joke for your first sentence, or your first paragraph even. Something to loosen yourself up and the audience. Now remember, last year we talked about the chewing gum handshake. When you think about the first sentence, you want to nail it with something that's going to capture their attention. Immediately what I did after I said hello adventure writers was I asked you a question about Abraham Lincoln, so that I immediately engaged you and you were thinking about an answer. Now, you may want to practice standing in front of a mirror. This is going to feel kind of funny at first, and you're going to want to shut the door so nobody can hear you practicing, but it really helps you to see what other people see. Finally, it's okay to say, "Whew, I'm nervous. Forgive me if I start shaking like a leaf." That's a joke, and it makes people relax. It also makes them want you to do well. It gets them on your side, for example. So P, practice your introduction sentence. All right, in case you've forgotten how to spell, the next letter is E, and E is a very important one. It stands for eye contact. Now this is really hard for some of you because some of you would rather get up here with a hat on like this and not look at anyone. And I completely understand that. But you all have beautiful eyes and your audience wants to see them. So plan to look someone in the eye. If this is really freaky for you, maybe plan to look kind of down the middle at a spot towards the back of the room. It will give the appearance that you're looking at someone specifically. You could even choose 3 spots, one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right. And rotate through those spots. And it gives the feeling that you're making eye contact with people in those areas of the room. But over time, you want to get to the point where you feel confident enough to say, I'm going to look at that guy in the front row and that lady in the back row. And then eventually you're going to get so used to it that it's not going to be very difficult for you to look directly at people and make eye contact. Eye contact is important in keeping your audience engaged. Okay, the next letter is A, and this is another critical one. Today I want to talk to you about the letter A. It stands for attack fillers. Yeah, it stands for attack fillers. And what I want to tell you about that is, fillers are ahs and ums, and you need to make sure they do not have a place in your speech. There's nothing that makes someone more boring to listen to. It's like a lullaby putting you to sleep when someone says, get them out of your speech. Now, the first week when you give your first speech, we're actually going to have someone keep a tally of all the ums and ahs. And this happened to me when I was in college. Someone kept a tally of every and ah that I gave in my first speech. And I had to do it for my husband Jeff as well, to help him to learn to speak without saying those words. Your speech will be much more interesting if they're not in there. So attack the fillers. That's A. Last, K. This one's important too. It stands for keep body control. Now, if I stand up here like this and talk to you, you guys are going to start to get seasick. You're going to feel like you're on Pirates of the Caribbean in the movie. Or if I'm constantly doing this and my hands are moving and moving and moving and moving, you're going to feel like you're in a hurricane or a twister or a tornado. Not good. It's okay to use body language. In fact, it's important that you use some body language. Right there, I wanted to emphasize the word some, so I said some body language. But then I brought my hand back, and I have it in a place where I can be still. Now you're going to notice that today I used a few tricks. The first trick that I used was I came up with an acronym. An acronym gave me the chance to hold it up. It gives you something to see, and it gives my hands something to do. It gives them a place to rest. The other thing that I did was employ the use of props. Sometimes the prop, again, gives the audience something to see, and it gives me something to do with my hands. Using body control is very important, and that's one time when standing in front of a mirror will help you. It will help you to see that, oh gosh, I'm moving a lot. Or the opposite can also be true. If you stand like this and hold your index cards and do it like this, you're going to make people very, very nervous and tense. They're not going to enjoy your speech. So you want to have natural body movement. Not too much and not too little. And you can ask your family to help you to decide on which end of the spectrum you fall. K, keep body control.